Hello beautiful ladies, this is Katie and welcome back to my channel. If you're a sassy woman, smart, attractive and successful woman looking for an SSQ, strong, successful and high quality man, then you've come to the right place. This channel is for women who are continuously trying to better themselves and want to be the best version of themselves so they can attract and keep a high quality mate for life. So in this video, I want to talk about what to do if your man that you are dating or you are seeing keeps telling you he's not ready for a relationship, right? It is very frustrating scenario to be in. Like I imagine someone being stuck in the mud, crying, and at the same time resisting to move. So literally you're stuck. The most common scenario I see is a man will chase a woman in the beginning. Most likely in the very beginning, a man was very committed, very serious, very into you, and you know, he was the one that was pushing things forward. And maybe at that time you were not ready for a relationship, or you were uncertain, or maybe you just was pushing him away and were not even conscious of what you were doing. In any case, after some time, maybe you changed your mind, okay? You decided after spending some time with this guy that, hey, he is pretty amazing. You know, he's so nice, he's so wonderful, he really cares about me. I want him. I want a committed relationship with him. And that is usually the moment when he changes his tune, right? Just as you start coming around, now he's flip-flopped to, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure. I need to think about it. You know, I have some things I need to work through. So now the tables have turned. Now you find yourself chasing after him, or you trying to be the perfect girlfriend in an effort to make him commit to you. Before I get into what to do, I do want to talk about how you can make this situation worse. You can train him to keep you in limbo and keep yourself stuck in the mud and, you know, emotionally stuck, that is, not knowing what to do next. So you may feel this internal tugging and pulling and not sure what exactly or how to progress things forward. You know, you're neither going backwards nor are you going forward, but you just know emotionally you're not where you want to be. Maybe he is still seeing other women, dating other women, keeping his options open, and that is what is keeping you up at night. We make the situation worse by trailing after his inconsistencies and incongruent behaviors. Maybe he is hot and cold, into you 1 minute, not into you the next. Okay, so that's his actions. What I see a lot of women doing is they start mimicking him. They start to mirror his inconsistencies. For example, I see a lot of women reactively putting up online dating profiles, starting to date other men, mostly in an attempt to make him jealous. Or they get to a point where they feel sick and tired of being that side girl, being breadcrumbed. So they start to put their foot down, okay? They start setting some standards. And this is definitely coming from a reactive place, because most likely if you're doing this, you're probably angry and frustrated. So you tell him, okay, no more, you're not gonna treat me this way. Don't contact me, or don't contact me after 10. If you're gonna see other women, just don't talk to me. Okay, you're doing that. And lastly, you oscillate between those two states of being, sometimes you're being warm and intimate and acting like his girlfriend and being lovey-dovey. And then the other percentage of the time, other 50% of the time, you're also cold and distant and annoyed at him. The problem is now you get into a situation where doubt begets doubt. So the more uncertain the relationship is, the more you perpetuate more uncertainty. Okay, so there's no sense of security or trust on either side. And if you do find yourself getting closer and closer emotionally, because even if you're only connecting every now and then and 50% of the time, you are still investing. You're still putting your emotions in this emotional bank, right? Still investing into this relationship, and it feels like giving you a false sense of progress. And as you feel attached, you may tell him, look, I want a committed relationship. Let's do it. Let's have a committed relationship. Now he will pull up every other time where you were seeing some other guy, or you were making him jealous, or you pulled away and was cold, and you did this wrong thing and you broke the trust. He can pull up all these examples of how you in the past were inconsistent as proof of why you shouldn't be together. So you're basically stuck. Okay, you want a relationship, but then he has all this evidence that, hey, it's not gonna work. Look at how much damage we're doing to each other. It's not gonna work. You're giving the guy ammunition to come back and say, no, here's why. So what can you do? I have just 3 simple steps. Step number 1, stop reactively taking action. When you're angry, don't call him, text him, block him, give ultimatums, make any kind of decisions when you're emotional. And sometimes we get into this residue negative feelings as well, where we think we're over the guy, we feel like we don't care anymore, when really that's just you're on a down cycle. So what happens with our emotions is we'll have an intense high, like anger, and then we'll drop down to the opposite, which is probably apathy. This is very common. And then we'll go back up again, intense, which could be hate, anger, and then we drop down again to lack of caring or maybe sadness as well. So this is figure 8, right? This kind of pattern is very, very common. I want you to watch for that pattern, by the way. Okay, recognize when your emotions are going up and down. That is the first red flag, something's wrong. Okay, you should not be doing that in any stage of your relationship. If that's happening, that's a clear sign you need to get out. Okay, I'm telling you now that nothing good ever comes when, especially early in the relationship, you're having this pattern going on with your emotions. So that's step number 1, stop reacting. Okay, stop reacting when you're emotional. Step number 2, ask yourself, what are my standards? The quickest way to ground yourself is to know what your standards are, okay, and to remind yourself, what are my standards? Your standards are what goes on a relationship contract with a man. These are things that needs to be met, right? He needs to talk to you every single day. He needs to be there for you when he says he'd be there for you, for example. He needs to take you out on a date once a week, okay, whatever it is. Okay, you gotta have those standards. Whatever they are, make sure you feel good about them. Last thing, once you have your standard, the last thing is you wanna make sure you only agree to get into a relationship with a man if he ticks everything off on your standard list. Imagine you have a relationship contract and your standards are each checklist on that contract. A man needs to sign that contract with his actions by doing everything on that standard list. Okay, not with words, not by saying, I will do this, I will do that, but by actually doing them. So as he does the actions, as he is consistent in keeping contact with you, in being there for you, in saying he will be there and then he is there, through his actions, that's how he signs that relationship contract. And only then Do you even consider getting into a relationship with him? He has to sign that contract first through his actions, and then you can sign it if you want. I know a lot of you thinking, okay, that sounds good in theory, but I'm in love with this guy and he doesn't meet my standards, but I'm in love with him. That has got to count for something, right? That's got to mean something. And he used to do all those great things in the beginning. And then I screwed it up. I can understand why he pulled away. Because I feel these feelings for him, and these feelings are not that common, it has to mean something. I have to somehow look into this and make this work somehow. It has to be something I can do. Our emotions can be very strong, can be so strong, we will override all logic, and be like, okay, I still want to cling to this guy. I just feel so strongly for him. I miss him. I want to talk to him every day. And here is where I want to remind you of what your priorities are. When women tell me, I prefer spending time with him. I prefer being with him over being alone. Even if he doesn't meet my standard, I still want to be with him. It doesn't matter, I just want to be with him. I value my time with him more than my time with myself, than being with myself. And I want you to really think about whether that's really what you want. He is the most important. What he thinks, feels, and need is more important than my feelings. Okay, that is what you're saying when you say, I prefer to spend time with him. I prefer to be with him over being alone. Okay, because your standard is a measure of how you feel. Because a man needs to make you feel a certain way. That's what the standards are for. Okay, if he doesn't meet that standard, that means he's not making you feel a certain way, not making you feel good. And you say he is the most important. That automatically means your emotions and your feelings does not count. It's not as important. Really ask yourself, is that what you really want? Is that how you want to live your life? Because you can't have it both ways. You can't say, yes, I value him and his feelings and everything, but I still want to honor my feelings. You have to pick one. One has to come before the other. And of course, I recommend you always go with your feelings. Okay, your feelings, your needs and your thoughts, they are the most important thing. Because guess what? You're stuck with you. He may not always hang around. He may disappear. But you are stuck with you forever. Who should really be the most important thing? And some of you maybe also be thinking, well, my standards are just not that important. I don't feel like having standards is that important. Should I even have standards? It's hard enough as it is to find somebody. Why should I have standards to make it harder? I hear you. But by following that line of thought, I could also ask you, why should we have names? Just about everybody have a name. Our parents are the ones who arbitrarily picked a name for us. Arbitrarily picked a name. So our name could literally be any other name out there and we wouldn't know the difference. We would still feel the same. Okay, we didn't even pick our names. It was arbitrarily picked for us. And yet, if you, for example, introduced yourself to me as Samantha, and I told you, no, I'm not going to call you Samantha. I'm going to call you stupid from now on. How would you react to that? Would you just be like, oh, look, I like you so much. I will allow you to call me stupid. That's okay. Would you be like that? Or would you be like, who does this bitch think she is? Okay, how rude and disrespectful. What did she just say? Okay, you'd probably be like, what? And if I continue to call you stupid, if I just didn't care what you thought, the look on your face, I just continue to call you stupid, you'd probably be like blocking me, ignoring me, spreading all kinds of stuff about me, and you just never speak to me again. Let me ask you, it's just a name, right? What's in a name? Why is that important? Why should a name be important? If your name could be any other name, why should it be important? We need to look at standards, having standards in the same way. Our standards, it really could be arbitrarily picked. Okay, we can pick any standards we want. As long as you feel good about the standards that you have and you have a reason and you feel good about it, you can really pick anything as your standard. And then all you have to do is treat it like your name. Just like if I was to introduce myself, I'd say, "Hi, I'm Katie." And I would expect you to call me Katie. That's what everybody would be thinking. They wouldn't say it, but that's what we all think. Okay, my name is blah. I expect you to call me blah. Okay, and if you don't call me by my name, bye, see ya. I'm not sticking around. That's not on, right? Same with standards. When it comes to standards, you'd be like, okay, hi, my name is Katie, and here are my standards. If you don't meet my standard, goodbye, in the same way. Okay, treat it in the same way. What makes a standard important, what makes it valuable, is just because you make it valuable, just because you want there to be importance, want it to be important. Just like your name, just like people will call you by your name because that's the name you want to be called. That's it. That's as simple as that. And you're doing men a favor by having standards. Just like men want to know what your name is so they know what to call you. It takes the guesswork out of it for them. So they don't have to put in effort trying to figure out what to call you. They don't have to put in effort to figure out how to treat you. They will just know because you've told them. So this is helping them out. You're helping men by having standards and being very clear about what those standards are. The key takeaway of this video is to have standards. Communicate them as early as possible with every man that you meet. So if you like this video, please like me, leave me a comment below and subscribe to my channel. I release videos weekly, every Thursday, and I'll be back with another video soon. Okay, bye.